Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Chrissy B Show, and we are the UK's only programme that's dedicated to your mental health and well-being. So any good parent wants the best for their children, but even with the best intentions and upbringing, our little ones can end up going through physical and mental health challenges. So today's show is all about helping parents deal with issues that come up throughout childhood. We start with our family coach Sharon Lawton on how we can spot the signs that our little ones are struggling with their mental health and what we can do to help them. Then we continue with our MHDChallenge tour, this time at Windhill Primary School. Decluttering and organising is just as important for children as it is for adults. So Sal Sorts It once again, giving a special to go a lovely new bedroom. And we also speak to resident psychologist Dr Audrey Tang on the challenges of parenting and what parents can do to look after themselves. Helena Shah brings you positive news in this week's A Helping of Happy, and Dr Rob Hicks will be giving his advice on how to keep an eye on your child's physical health and what to do if issues arise. And also, it's great to raise children to care about their community, so this week's Test the Trend with Dr Audrey Tang and her dog Brandy focuses on upcycling with the 23rd Watford Girl Guides. So let's go straight to our first guest, Sharon Lawton. Lovely to have you back on, Sharon.
Thank you, Chrissy.
So today you're going to be giving some advice about how to spot signs that maybe our little ones are struggling with their mental health.
Absolutely. So it can be really, really tricky. There isn't sort of like a one thing that I can say, this is what you need to look out for. Because everyone is so unique and different. Our children are also unique and different. And we process our feelings and emotions differently. What I would say is just to look out for anything that is slightly or very much out of character. So if you had a very extrovert child that becomes very withdrawn, if you have a child that is suddenly being very, very aggressive and that is really out of character, maybe a child that started bedwetting or being extra clingy, or you know, so something that's really, really out of character. Now these things happen anyway during life's transitions. But if it's something that is going on for a very long time and it's not going away. Now, what I would say with all people that I work with, parents and teachers, etc., that we have to look at behaviour as communication. So thinking about what's happened in my young person's life, or thinking about what's going on right now, what might this behaviour be trying to tell me? I think that's sort of quite a good thing to be thinking about.
And if we do discover that there is something going on, how can we help these children?
So it really does sort of depend on the severity of the condition. So, you know, I would always say if a parent or a carer is worried at all, is to seek medical advice. But in the first instance, there are always things that we can do as parents and carers at home. And I think one of the things that we all do, with the best of intentions, is we sort of try and sort of get them to sort of stuff it down. Like, oh, you know, don't be silly, it's fine, don't worry, there's nothing to be frightened of, there's nothing to worry about. And when we do that, the subliminal message we're giving young people is that we're uncomfortable with their feelings and it's not okay to talk about it. So it sort of backfires on us, really. And the thing that we really need to be doing is to be empathising, so sitting comfortably with the feeling and saying, wow, it looks like you're feeling really upset right now, or it looks like, you know, you've got some big prickly feelings that, you know, you're finding hard to deal with. Am I right? And addressing that doesn't mean that actually you're going to make it worse or all of a sudden bring a mental health issue. It just opens it up. It opens it up for that discussion. So important to talk, that's the first thing. And to give an emotional vocabulary around how they're feeling. So first of all, it's okay to talk. And second of all, let's find some ways to talk about it. So the first way is using empathy. Empathy is a game changer for a whole range of things. It just allows us to feel understood, very different to sympathy.
Yeah.
And we can give a language around that. So it looks as if you're feeling really frustrated right now, Chrissy. And then you can say, no, I'm not frustrated, I'm upset, or, you know, whatever it might be.
Okay.
The younger we start that, it allows allows children to say, when I get this funny feeling in my tummy, Mummy says it looks like I'm feeling worried. So I've got that feeling in my tummy again, so maybe I'm feeling worried. So that's the first thing. The next thing, I've brought along some props and things. Is that okay?
Your props, Sharon, yes.
So I've brought along my little worry monster, and the worry monster I use with all of the families that I work with, and I recommend families to get one if they haven't got one.
Okay.
So it's our worry monster, and our worry monster we can share and tell all our worries to. It's a little bit sort of CBT based, really, cognitive behavioural therapy. So it just gives a vehicle for children to be able to write down or draw their worries or feelings and pop them in the worry monster's mouth. Just like that.
Okay.
It pops in there. And the whole idea is that the worry monster then looks after the worry until the child or the young person feels able to talk about it with a safe adult.
Okay.
So it's not about the worry monster taking it away, because that's not helpful. It sits there and it waits until they're ready to talk about it. So it's like an offloading.
Yeah.
So that's sort of quite a nice thing. So older children, they can use worry boxes or that type of thing. Alongside that, again for younger children, is my favourite book, A Huge Bag of Worries. Stories are fantastic ways of sort of, you know, getting children to talk and open up about the character rather than themselves. Right, so that's a really lovely book I'd recommend. And this one here is our calming jar. So a great way to talk about this is when we're feeling calm, when everything's okay, our bodies and our minds feel calm. But when we're upset or worried or something that's going on, we get a big feeling that doesn't go away, we get all sort of shook up inside. Yeah. We can't think straight, our bodies feel all churned up. So it's a great way of explaining sort of how we might feel. And the glitter calming jar is a really sort of quite a calming way to, sometimes we just need some space to be able just to sit, maybe do a bit of relaxation, a little bit of meditation until our glitter settles and we feel a bit better.
Thanks very much for those tips,
You're
Sharon.
welcome.
And recently you went and did the MHD challenge at Windhill Primary School. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, fantastic. So Windhill 21 Primary School in Bishop Stortford, and we had a fantastic day there. You'll see in the video that the sun was shining. We had a great day. We got the teachers involved as well. You're going to love it.
The teachers, actually,
Indeed.
I have to say, they really know the dance well.
Oh gosh, yeah, they were a fabulous school. So yeah.
And for the viewers that don't know what the MHD challenge is, can you quickly explain?
So our mental health dance challenge. So we're taking it around schools. Very privileged to be the ambassador for the challenge. And just getting in a really fun way, talking about mental health through dance. Each of the dance moves has a specific meaning, but the kids have really loved it, and we do it in schools. It's a free assembly, so get in touch.
Wonderful. Shall we take a look, Sharon?
Yes, great.
Let's have a look, guys.
Okay, so hi Chrissy, we're back out on location taking the MHD challenge across schools in the county of Hertfordshire today, and we are in the wonderful Windhill 21 in Bishop Stortford. So I know the kids have been practicing loads. It's a gorgeous day. Let's go inside and find out how they've been getting on. And turn. Here we go. And your heads. 1, 2, 3. Get out and stamp. To the side. Let's shake it off. Middle. To the side. So tell me, what did you think about when you heard about the MHD challenge? Why made you think to bring it to the school?
Well, we are very positive about supporting mental health at the school already, and it was just that extra impetus really to get it even going further and accelerate the children's understanding of what mental health is. And so we wanted the children to understand that they have mental health and they can support their own mental health to be positive.
Step back and point and ready to slam and crush, slam and crush, slam and crush. Who can remember what does mental health mean?
So it kind of means like your mental well-being, so how you're feeling, your emotions and all that kind of stuff.
Who could hands up and show me a couple of the dance moves? This one here, fantastic. So what does that bit mean? What do you think we do that for in the dance?
No.
No, what we're saying no to?
No to the bad feelings and emotions.
Yeah, to those feelings and emotions that help us, stop us getting the best out of life. So those prickly feelings. Yeah, well done, thank you. There's a hand up at the back. Would you like to stand up and show us one of the moves? Show me one of the other moves. Oh, yes. And what we also have a flag at the same time, don't we? Fantastic. What was the red flag about?
Does it mean like bad, maybe?
So fighting back, isn't it? Yeah, so we're fighting back against those bad feelings. We're saying no more bad feelings. We're coming to get you. Yeah, well done, fantastic. Who else would like to show us another dance move? That's it, so punch, punch down. Yeah, well done. We're not punching people. What are we punching away, do you think?
The bad feelings?
Yeah, the feelings, absolutely. So we're getting rid of those. We're punching away those bad feelings. You're right, we're fighting back. One more. So that stamp to the side. And what are we doing here, do you think?
Pushing all the nerves away.
Pushing all the nerves and the worries away. Yeah, absolutely. And why do you think that's important, to push the nerves and the worries away?
Because otherwise you're going to feel like you can never get better when you probably can.
Punch down, punch, 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 down and up. You're a winner. Here we go.
If we think we have the symptoms of mental health, we can go and talk about someone and it raises our awareness. And if someone else wants to talk to us about it, we can empathise with them and try and take steps to help them get better.
So if you had a really big worry, who do you think you would talk to about it?
Probably my parents, but if I didn't want to tell them, I could tell a teacher or like a friend that you really, really trust.
Who would you talk to?
If I was at school, then I would probably talk to a teacher. But if I was at home, I would definitely talk to my mum or dad. And if they can't really do anything, then I'll probably talk to somebody that I've known since I was born and I've known for a long time, and that way I can feel like I'm safe.
Well, if they didn't have anyone to talk to, then I would say you could go to maybe social services or someone that you can trust, not like a stranger walking down the road. You have to trust, you have to give trust to someone.
So it's been absolutely fantastic coming to the school. Show me your favourite moves then.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, so we've got a mixture going on here, haven't we? Fantastic. Okay, so I'm here now with the wonderful head teacher here at Windhill 21, Mrs. Moore. So Mrs. Moore, it gives me great pleasure to present you with the official MHDChallenge certificate. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. We've had a wonderful experience and we've learned so much with the whole process. So thank you very much.
Oh, it's been amazing. And so, as you can see, we've had a fantastic day here at Windhill 21. And so until the next challenge, it's goodbye from me, Sharon, and it's goodbye from everyone here at Windhill 21. It's payback time, everybody.
Well done to everybody at Windhill 21 for doing such a fantastic job with the MHD challenge. So decluttering and organising is just as important for children as it is for adults. So Sal Sorts It once again, giving a special to go a lovely new bedroom.
People to think they have to learn to live with depression. I know there's a permanent cure, and I know sometimes many people hear that, you know, you can manage depression or learn to live with it, and that's something that I totally disagree with, because depression is such a horrible thing to experience and to live with on a day-to-day basis, because I've been there and I know. But I also know that there is a solution, a permanent solution.
Depression has always been something, people say it's incurable. Once you get depressed, you'll never be free of it. But it's not true. You don't have to manage it. You can get rid of it, and that's why it's payback time.
Obviously, I'm taking a couple of these books today, 2 signed copies, in order to give it to some relatives of mine.
I know that this book will progress. Yeah, it's about time. It's about time. It steals too much time for people's lives. Yeah, it's about time.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a look at this.
Well, here we are at Larissa's home and the final day. I am so excited. Today we're going to be doing Luara's room and we're going to be changing those up, getting some great little storage solutions. We've been shopping, we've got all the stuff, so let's see if Larissa's ready. Larissa, hiya! How are you?
I'm good.
The finale, here we go, finally, great. What a journey we've been on.
Oh yeah, great.
Well, I've actually got loads of stuff in the van, so I need you to come and help me with that.
Okay, let's go, yeah.
Here I am in Luara's bedroom. I'm so excited. Children's bedrooms are always a bit of a challenge, but I really can't wait to get started on this. She's 8 years old and an amazing creative child, so we want to keep some of that character. So before we get all those storage solutions in, we need to start doing some decluttering. So Larissa, have you got those bags?
Oh yeah.
Come on in, let's get going.
Okay.
Should we go over these again just to... So we've got green for giving. So that's for the donations that we're going to give. And then this is just for normal rubbish, the grey bag. And let's not forget always our friend, the blue recycling bag.
Great. So we start with...
I've got a feeling this one is a donation room. I think we've got lots of things that we can have a look at. So shall we have a go? Let's get going. Right. What about this section here then? Let's have a look. Already I can see a few things because, as we know, with children, they're ever changing, growing up, changing styles, changing things that they like. So some of this I imagine is quite easy to let go of because they're going to be things that she's grown out of.
Yeah, we can take the things out and put it. These go.
This can go. This can go. Yes.
Put in the bag.
We'll get rid of this. So, and let's just have a look at some of these toys. So.
Yeah, it's difficult, to give her toys. She doesn't really play with.
I think there's also something that is quite important to remember when you're decluttering children's bedrooms, particularly when you're finding it difficult to let go, is to remind yourself that, really this is not being played with. We can be donating that to people that really need it, or, children that don't have anything. And we can keep those specific lovely things and make a real feature of, things that are really sentimental. Whereas I think some things you can probably let go of in that kind of frame of mind.
Yeah, I will keep these because when she comes with her friends, I think she plays a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So we'll pop that to one side then, and then we can have a look. How about these?
If it's not working anymore, we can give it, yeah.
Yeah. I think as well, it's always really good to have a maybe pile. because I find that sometimes when you revisit a pile after we finish the whole decluttering process, you'll be able to go back, and the majority of the time people let things go again. So let's pop this in your maybe. There we go, you see, after that reconsideration. Some little child is going to love that. Now this is a really familiar sight in any children's room.
Yeah.
Crayons and pens and things like that. And I imagine that there's quite a few bits and bobs that might not be working anymore in here. If you're feeling slightly overwhelmed, the best thing to do with boxes like this is to put those to one side, and you can certainly sit down in the evening and have a little flick through, perhaps, rather than concentrating on the details.
Let's go through the big
things. We need to go for the big things, and then we can attack the little bits and bobs a bit later on. So, yes, here we are. So this is actually quite something. It's something that I see quite often, and this is showing you how easy it is for little pockets to become little clutter containers, and quite easily not with everything that they should have. So I think maybe this isn't working, is it, in here?
Isn't working. I think I'm putting everything there and she doesn't use at all.
And we've got some armbands. Yeah. Again, it's all stuff that she's grown out of as well, you know. So I think we could probably donate the majority of this stuff. So we'll have a little sort out of that, yep. This was quite a big decision, actually, wasn't it? But this doll's house is going to go to another home where somebody else can really enjoy it. So we're just going to give it a bit of a clean up, and off it goes to its new house. A new house. Okay, there you go. Bye. Well done, Larissa. Well done. Well done.
This was Luara's first toy in London. She was 3.5 years old, and we gave this house, you know, doll house. It was her first toy in London. No?
Yeah, that is really brave.
Yeah,
what a brave decision, but no more use, and this could go to someone. So anyway,
bye.
My goodness, what a day that we've had. Just decluttering alone took a really long time, but we really did have an amazing day. We've got rid of so many things and we're able to donate them to charity, and we've created a fun, creative atmosphere. My goodness, I quite want to move into this bedroom myself. And I've sent Larissa away. She's been really hard decluttering with me, so I thought I'd finish off and do the few little bits and bobs and that little bit of je ne sais quoi. So it's all a bit of a surprise for her. So let's call her in now. So Larissa, are you there? Surprise, here we go.
Wow!
What do you think?
What I think is just completely different. My daughter have space, and I can breathe in this room. And we selected the toys she really needed because she had loads of toys that she was not really playing anymore.
Exactly,
This creative area, like she can paint. And the way that we displayed the books, the toys, and we had a surprise.
Yes.
This, when I put her this little doll here. Let it go, let it go.
Let it go, and we did. We decluttered to let it go. That was brilliant.
Yeah, the doll started singing, you know, when I put let it go.
That was brilliant. It was absolutely as if it was meant to be. So, and also because we wanted to keep, you know, the character of this room as well. As you said, we've got a great little creative space down there, and we've kept all of these toys. The one thing about a children's bedroom is that they are allowed to be children, I think, and minimalism doesn't necessarily work. And I think that is definitely the case in this room. These are everything that she plays with. She can see everything. We've applied colour coding. We've also got a music section. We've got all the things that she loves to do, but we've got loads more space to do it in.
Oh my God, how many bags, loads of bags
Oh my
we have
goodness.
to give to the child.
We had our work cut out for us today, didn't we? That's for sure.
It was hard, but brilliant, you know? And the surprise, are we going to tell the surprise?
So the surprise, well, if you remember before we had very limited space actually, but also the bed wasn't that great, was it? It was pallets, and so here's the surprise. We've got this fantastic bunk bed, and we've got these great little bits of fabric, and even the toys look happy on that, don't they? Yeah, and it's providing more room and space. And also 2 layers so that she can have her friends stay over, and also this could be like a sofa area and a play area as well, so multi-use. I love multi-use, as you well know, Larissa.
No, Luara will be very, very happy, and I am very happy because we were desperate to give her a nice room, but maybe I didn't know how to start, and you were brilliant, Sal.
Oh, you're so welcome. I've loved every minute of it.
I think I will want to sleep in this bedroom.
Yeah, maybe you and me together then, in the bunk beds.
Amazing.
There's plenty of room now for a sleepover. Well, a busy day decluttering in children's bedrooms. As it always is, it often looks really overwhelming and can take a considerable amount of time. But bear with yourself and make sure that you start, because once you start, you're going to be able to get a clearer space. And once you start that domino effect, you're going to create a wonderful space like we have done today. Children's spaces are really important. There shouldn't be too many things around the bed area. It's really important that they get a relaxing night's sleep. So make sure that you provide little pockets of entertainment around the room away from the bed. For example, like we did today, we had the musical area, we had the creative area, and we had the soft toy and play area, all slightly further away, thanks to bringing in these new bunk beds as well, so we could push everything back. Well, and also we organised lots of books. We've decluttered so many toys, so we've managed to donate to some great charities and give things to people that don't have as much stuff as we did. So there is just a win-win situation all around. So I think that's all that we've got time for, and I don't know about you, Larissa, but I'm ready for a lie down.
I'm a little bit tired on this bunk bed. It's amazing.
So we might as well try it out while we get the chance. So shall we?
So let's rest a little bit. So bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Fabulous. Yay. Oh, smashing.
Thank you very much to Sally there. So now we have on the lovely Dr. Audrey Tang, and she's going to be discussing how parents can look after themselves, aren't you, Audrey?
Yes,
because
indeed.
they do put a lot of pressure on themselves, parents, don't they?
Absolutely. And one of the first things to realise is when you've had a child, your body is already changed. So there are a lot of physical things that you're going to have to deal with, which perhaps you hadn't had to deal with in the past. So that's one thing. You're already feeling exhausted. It might be if your baby's not sleeping, you're staying up as well. You may be waking up to breastfeed. You may be doing all kinds of things which are a real difference to your normal routine. So there's already stress placed onto you. Then you've got opinions. Everyone has opinions. And you get things like, oh, you must breastfeed, you mustn't breastfeed. You must go back to work, you mustn't go back to work. And people have their own views. And your behaviour may feel like a challenge to them, but that's really their issue, not yours. You've had your family for you. Remember that all the time. Not only do you have opinions, but then you have a lot of well-meaning people who really want to help, and they do mean it often in the most in the nicest possible way, but they're not always the most sensitive in the way they put their ideas across.
Okay.
And this can sometimes be in-laws who have always done something their way, or it might be siblings who have done something their way, and if you're not doing it their way, then you might be doing it wrong. And again, you feel the pressure to please everybody, or at least keep them quiet. And that can be hard as well. And then, if that's not enough, you have social media, because there, again, you get different opinions, and then there's almost that pressure to suddenly lose weight or suddenly be the best mum or the best parent in the world.
What can parents do then to look after themselves? Because there's so much pressure, like you said, you know, just not just the changes that happen, but also from everybody around and stuff like that. What can that parent do?
First of all, try not to let the voices which sound like criticism, sound like you're doing something wrong, drown out the compassionate, kind people. There is an example of this. There is a whole new group of people who don't want to become parents who are also voicing their opinions quite loudly. And as an example, Japan Airlines has just decided to allow people to know where babies are sitting if someone's booked a seat for a baby. All the comments, or majority of them, were quite, oh, thank goodness for that. And I think that's really painful for a new parent to hear. However, if you actually listen a bit more carefully, there are some people who say, you know what, that's great because I love kids and they're going to help me get through the flight myself because they're so much more interesting. I would be happy to help. There are some really helpful, kind people out there. So that's one thing. Don't let the negatives drown out the positives. Secondly, be careful where you ask for advice. If it's a medical problem, ask your GP. Don't go to the internet and don't go and ask people who don't know. So go to the right people. Maybe have phrases that you can use for the well-meaning souls who are trying to support you. Things like, thank you so much, I will bear that in mind. But you don't need to do everything for them.
Mind your own business.
Yes,
don't say that.
That may be a difficult one to put across kindly. But and also find some time for yourself as well. Try and get some respite care. Some parents have adult areas where they can just chat and be who they are, have date nights, those sorts of things as well. And that's where you can ask for maybe practical help too.
Yeah, it's so important because otherwise, if you're worried about so many things, how are you going to enjoy that time with your child and just appreciating the little things that happen? You're going to miss all of that if you're so stressed out.
That's exactly right. It's your family. It's your way of doing things. Enjoy it. You will make mistakes. That's fine. You learn from them and you work on it.
Thank you, my love, and we'll see you again soon. Okay, everybody, so after the break, Helena Shard brings you positive news in this week's A Helping of Happy, and Dr. Rob Hicks will be giving his advice on how to keep an eye on your child's physical health and what to do if issues arise. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, host of the UK's only TV programme dedicated to mental health and well-being, The Chrissy B Show, which airs on MyTV Sky 191 every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Follow our social media on YouTube, Instagram and Twitter at Chrissy B Show and our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. For more information, visit chrissybshow.tv. Welcome back to today's Chrissy B Show, everybody. So now it's time for a helping of happy with the lovely Helena Shard. Lovely to have you back on, Helena. We love your positive news.
I love it too. I'm glad you enjoy it. So starting off with, I saw a lovely quote by Stan Lee, and really describes the everyday hero, and that's really what we like to discuss, what I love to stories to be about. That selfless person who helps others simply because it should or must be done, and because it's the right thing to do, is indeed without a doubt the real superhero. And the reason why I'm talking about that is just moving on to Erin, who is, to me, a real inspirational 9-year-old and definitely a superhero. The biggest heart, and he has recently won a Pride of Britain Award, which was given out by Carol Vorderman, for his most incredible work, finding a cure for his rare life-limiting condition. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's ROHHAD, ROHAD, and it's there's only about 100 cases determined worldwide, so amazing. But the most amazing thing is he has actually raised over £300,000.
Wow.
Which is incredible, and that has just been handed over now to do loads of research. So incredible, and he's got loads of support from Robert Downey Jr. I mean, obviously he's Iron Man, etc., and everyone's really supporting him, which is lovely. Also something for me which I find quite alarming in a sense is hearing how the rising number of children being treated for eco-anxiety. I don't know if you've heard about that. And experts have been warning parents not to talk of climate catastrophe, that kind of thing, too much. So I was talking to my nieces and nephews, and they were, because it's amazing how bright they are and so wanting the best for the world, but how they want to be part of the solution, which is brilliant. And there's certain things going on at the moment as well, which is really, really heartening. There was 1,200 children recently in Belgium, in Ostend, which is one of the coastal cities, that part of a European Union awareness campaign. They're just picking up litter and various things on the beach and just making a big point, drawing attention to it. So a marine challenge, which fabulous. Because as we know, 8 million tonnes of plastic waste ends up in our oceans. So it's brilliant to hear. Moving on to a great 25-year-old, Boyan the Slat, who actually has introduced something called the Interceptor. And this is, it's a clean-up barge, which has been made, which is really amazing. And it's going to be anchored in polluted rivers, and it's capable of scooping up 50 tonnes of garbage per day, floating downstream.
Yeah, it's really good.
So imagine 25 years old, fantastic, isn't it? Something that I found really quite funny, a 9-year-old called Cade Lovell, a young boy, in Minnesota. He was competing in a 5K run. His mum was there supporting him and waiting for him to get to the finish line. He didn't turn up. He actually took a wrong turn and won the 10K run. But he did it in the most amazing time, something like 48 minutes. I mean, she was absolutely panicky and put, search parties and everything. And he was just saying that he probably did so much better than usual because he ran in panic because knew his mum would be worried. But it's just can imagine it, can't you? Can you imagine doing 10K and just running?
Wow, he's super fit.
Super fit. He is a runner. Obviously going to do really well. And just going to end on a fun one. Well, not fun really, but it worked out well in the end. And this is another everyday hero. Ruben Correa, who is a patrol officer in Utah, he saved a driver from an oncoming train. But the thing about it just goes to show how selfless and amazing, he didn't think really about himself. He saw a car sort of careering down a bank onto the tracks of a railway. Wow. And you could see, because he had his dash cam video on, in fact it was caught on video.
Oh wow.
So you could see this train coming, like the light absolutely bright, and he just zoomed there. He was screaming, trying to get the guy out who had a medical condition, so wasn't quite with it.
Wow.
But managed to pull him out to safety within something like a second. But it just goes to show there's so many wonderful people out there, and it's just to share everyone's positive news. We do, Chrissy. Yes. We love it. We love it.
We love you, Helena.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.
And we'll see you again very soon.
See you soon.
Okay, everybody, so now it's time to head over to Dr. Rob Hicks, and he's going to be letting us know how to keep an eye on your child's physical health and what to do if you do notice any symptoms. So, Rob, it's lovely to have you back in the studio with us.
Always lovely to be here.
So today you're going to be helping us regarding children, for the parents out there. How can they keep an eye on their child's physical health, and what can they do if they do spot anything?
Yeah, it's a very, very good question. I mean, the basics of keeping an eye on your child's health are actually the same for children as they are for adults. So you want to make sure your child's having a healthy, balanced diet, that they're engaged in lots of activity and exercise, that they're getting enough rest, sleep and relaxation. And for children in particular, you want to make sure they get lots of playtime. So that's indoors and outdoors. And you need to protect them from exposure to passive smoking, obviously, because that can damage their lungs and set them up for problems in the future. I mean, from the point of view of their emotional well-being, you just want to keep an eye on them to make sure that they appear happy, that they're engaging with you, with the rest of your family, and with their friends, and that they're engaging in school as well. Chris, you'll be aware that actually the major challenge with regards physical health for children here in the UK is actually being overweight and suffering with obesity. I mean, it's frightening to think that when children enter primary school in year 1, the figures suggest that around about 1 in 5 of them is overweight or obese.
That's high, isn't it?
Yeah, and when they leave primary school in year 6 and go on to secondary school, that number has increased to being 1 in 3 children are overweight or obese. And of course, from a physical health point of view, the risk of carrying too much weight, it puts them at greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes and all the complications that come with that, heart disease, and some cancers. And from an emotional health and well-being point of view, we know that children who are overweight or obese actually suffer poor psychological and emotional health and well-being. So they're more likely to be bullied in school, for example. They're more likely to suffer with low self-esteem. So there's lots of reasons why it's important to keep an eye on your children's overall physical health, but particularly on their weight, because if you keep them with a healthy diet and you keep them active, you can help keep that.
That's the thing. Something is not just the food anymore and the overeating, it's that lack of exercise, because kids aren't really doing as much as they used to do, right? Because now it's like a lot of game playing, lots of stuff on iPads and phones that they're just playing games and just very still, they're not moving much.
A lot of their free time, their downtime, their playtime, as you say, is spent sitting down. So that's why it's so important to get them up and about, to get them out playing outside, maybe engage them, involve them in community activity clubs that are there specifically for children.
That's right.
One of the most important things you can do for your child's physical health is make sure that they have the vaccinations that they're offered, and that they're up to date with their vaccinations, because this is a very, very important way of protecting them, and indeed those around them, from potentially life-threatening diseases. And it goes without saying that if you are concerned in any way about your child's physical or their emotional well-being and health, ask your GP, ask the practice nurse. If you have a health visitor, ask your health visitor. Maybe ask the school nurse if there's one in school. Maybe speak to your child's teacher if you are concerned in any way. It's so important to ask and not be frightened to ask, because if there isn't a problem, then you can be reassured. If there is a problem, steps can be taken, appropriate steps can be taken to address the problem and give your child the best, opportunity to remain physically and mentally very well.
The sooner the better.
And the sooner the better.
Wonderful. Rob, thank you so much.
My pleasure as always.
And we'll see you again next time.
Yes, you will.
So everybody, it's great to raise children to care about their community. So this week's Test the Trend with Dr Audrey Tang and her dog Brandy focuses on upcycling with the 23rd Watford Girl Guides.
It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay not okay.
I teach people to see depression as an enemy, not as a friend. I'm always going to be speaking about how you can actually kick depression out of your life, and I give tips in the book of what you can do, how you can start to see depression so that you can get rid of it for good.
Miss Chris, you've done a good job, and you didn't want to keep this help to yourself. You decided to share with everybody. You wrote a book which gives access to anyone who wants to improve.
She was able to get out of depression. Now she will be able with the book to get not only in UK but around the world.
Because it's time to reveal to the world the truth.
If you know anyone who is suffering from depression, then this book is highly recommended.
Welcome back to today's Chrissy B Show, everybody. So we think it's really important to raise children to care about their community. So this week's Test the Trend with Dr Audrey Tang and her dog Brandy focuses on upcycling with the 23rd Watford Girl Guides.
Hi Chrissy, we're in the garage this week because this is a lovely workstation. This week we're going to be looking at upcycling, which is repurposing something into something completely new, something that was going to be thrown away and making it into a completely new object. And the first thing I'm going to be looking at is this dog food can. It is empty, Brandy. Now, what we're going to do with this is turn it into a tea light. I'm going to paint it with outdoor paint, punch some holes in it, I pop a tea light in, and then I've got a beautiful fairy tale effect when I'm sitting in the garden. However, because Brandy likes to join me in the garden as well, we're going to make her a bed from this old tyre. This has been covered already with outdoor paint. A base will be put on it, we'll stuff it with foam, cover it with something waterproof, and Brandy can join us when we're outside. Because we like to have something pretty to look at, this other tyre is going to become a flower pot. All that's going to happen now, because it's been painted already, is we just need to get the flowers and the soil to put inside it, and then I need to hang it up out in the garden. I'm just about to go into the 23rd Watford Guides meeting, and one thing I love about guiding is that it's there for empowering girls, teaching them practical skills, but recently they've just brought in some special interest badges as well, which get girls interested in things like social awareness, mindfulness, upcycling, and it's upcycling that hopefully I'm going to earn today. Now, guiding started back in 1909 when the girls first crashed a scout rally, and from then onwards it's been all about getting girls empowered and getting girls ready to face the world, but also to really contribute to their communities.
So the skills builders we work on each week. They started today, we do them over 4 weeks, but we do 5 sections of it. And the interest badges are just done at home or in groups, but they're not usually done at guides. So this is the upcycling badge. Who's got their upcycling badge here? I think some of you have done it, haven't you?
We upcycled some old bed sheets into a light cushion for your bed, and then we decorated them. Yeah, and I did a unicorn design, and so did another one of my friends.
Fantastic, that sounds really nice actually. I like unicorns, they're always good, colourful.
Well, I upcycled a cactus in fact for my cat, and I planted a flower in it.
Oh, beautiful. That's fantastic. And one of the tips I learned about recycling is that pet owners, they all recycle things like newspapers and books, but they don't recycle their food cans for their pets. And so it's nice to hear that you've done the pet can, like I've done as well.
I did the photography badge, which meant I had to learn like a few different techniques of how to take proper pictures. And then I also created a big collage of all the different photographs that I've taken over the past weeks. I've done the badge.
That's amazing, well done.
Me and Kira both did the chocolate badge together, so we had to create our own chocolate bar. And what we both did is we designed the outside of it, and we came up with a name and what ingredients were inside of it. Yeah, and we brought chocolate in for our patrol to try and see what different textures and tastes you can get.
I like guides because I've made lots of new friends and we do lots of fun things, and we've been on, I think I've been on 3 camps. I like guides because in the summer we do lots of outdoor activities, like we go canoeing and we go to Faisal's Wood, and that's a massive activity camp where you can do different like activities, and it's just fun. I like guides because it's a good way of getting outdoors, because otherwise I'm on my phone most of the time at home, but it's a good way of getting outside and doing like things like cooking and making fires that will help you in the future as well.
I love that. I'm all for getting off our phones every now and then.
I promise that I will do my best to be true to myself and develop my beliefs, to serve the good in my community, to help other people and to keep the guide law.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Well, thank you very much for having us.
I'm going to present your badge now, so I think you definitely earned it with
Oh.
all these things. So this is your upcycling badge. You can wear it on your uniform.
I will. I'll bring the show.
Or you can put it on a camp blanket. That's what some people do, don't you? You wear them on your uniform, or you put them on a blanket that is just a souvenir.
Thank you. I really appreciate this because this is now my second badge. Ruth presented me with it's the Bra Challenge badge a few years ago, but because I never went to guides, I never had the opportunity to do any of this. So this is really exciting for me to be able to do, and I completely understand what you're saying about learning to do new things and fun things and getting off your phone. I think it's a really great way of spending time, really, so that's brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. What I've really loved about this challenge is that not only have I learned new skills, but the tyre that Brandy has as a new bed has been something that's really inspired lots of other people to get upcycling. So I hope you've been inspired too.
Thank you very much to Audrey and to Brandy there. And if there's a trend that you would like to see tested, please do get in touch with us by emailing info@chrissybshow.tv. So I'd like to thank all of my guests today on the programme and for all the great advice that they've offered to you. And also, if you have a story that you would like to share, or you have a concern to do with mental health, physical health, anything like that, please do get in touch with us, because that's the reason why we have our resident guests on to help you, so that you don't feel alone in anything. Please do email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. If you'd like to comment about the show, we'd love to know how it's helping you. Please go to our Twitter or Instagram @ChrissyBShow, or you can leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. If you'd like to know more about this program, you can visit our website, which is chrissybshow.tv. And on that website as well, if you just do /MHDChallenge, you can find out about one of our projects, which is the Mental Health Dance Challenge. And we are currently touring schools with our MHD Challenge ambassador, Sharon Lawton. And finally, if you'd like to know more about me and how I overcame depression and other mental health issues, you can visit my personal website, which is mylifeafterdepression.com. Until next time, bye-bye for now.